Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast. Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, author Randy Pressgrove and his bestseller, This Car Sucks. Tales and tips from a life of wheeling and dealing. Oh boy. In Jeff's car culture, products made by famous car brands. And Mars has the best driver experience roads in Texas. Howdy. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, and he is over there, in another part of Texas that is a
YMCA.
big, huge, actually, it's a destination for all to see.
Yep.
That would be in Neederville, Texas.
You betcha.
We also have with us today, as always, Jeff. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Chief Engineer David Ainsley sleeping in.
No, I thought he's off today.
No, he leaves town tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
No, Sunday, Saturday, Monday, sometime.
Whatever. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today.
Here.
Now our guest. We've been waiting for this all week long. His name is Randy Pressgrove. And Randy, it's good to see you. I want to know how you came up with this absolutely marvelous title, This Car Sucks. Tales and tips from the life of wheeling and dealing. I like it. Do we have Randy?
Well,
You got me on audio.
We got you on audio.
Got you on audio.
Oh, God. We have to look at us while we do this interview, Randy. What the hell?
I got a little technical difficulty on the video, but I do have audio loud and clear.
Okay,
right,
well,
cool.
that's good to know. Mr. Mars is going to put up some really good-looking girls on here. So for the guys that are watching right now, stay tuned. So while Randy previews his book, we're going to look at some hot chicks, okay?
Jeez.
All right.
Is that okay with you, Randy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don
And we're going to put down at the bottom of the screen, this is the real Randy Pressgrove.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I'm particularly interested in your program here because I spent a lot of my career in Southeast Texas and particularly Houston, and enjoyed it immensely. You've got a real good affinity for your show and all the references you have therein. So thanks for having me on.
Well, it's our pleasure, and I understand that you, sir, have been in the car business. So this is really kind of an insider's view about This Car Sucks, tales and tips from the life of wheeling and dealing. And I'm sure that you've heard lots of stories.
I incorporated quite a few of them into the book, and as amazingly enough, I've spent 47 years in the business, most of them in wholesale, even though I started in retail. But I was with Chrysler the first time they went broke, and have done some successive tours, mostly in sales and dealer development with Mazda, Toyota, both here and in Saudi Arabia, Kia, Hyundai, Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche. So I was kind of to a lot of the interesting stories, primarily regarding dealers, but also involving some manufacturers as well. And it made for some pretty good reading. I got into the book on a dare. My partner and I were driving someplace, and somebody cut me off on the freeway, and I said, "That's going in my book." She reached into the back seat, pulled out her computer, and said, "Start talking, mister." And 100,000 words, 8 months later, we had This Car Sucks.
Well, I love it. And so obviously you've had lots of cars that sucked for many reasons. And do you have a favorite?
I think one of the, if you want to term it this way, one of the suckiest was in the early 1990s when Mazda came out with what they called the quintessential youth market sport coupe called the Mazda X3. And it was the antithesis of what a young, sophisticated buyer would actually want. Mazda complicated the problem by bringing the feature car in a hideously purple color that was reminiscent of Barney the dinosaur.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that sucks pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the dealers nor the factory could sell these things. Now, while kids might have liked Barney the purple dinosaur, their parents absolutely abhorred the car. So that worst ones.
Well, you got to ask yourself, what were they thinking? You would think that these multi-billion dollar conglomerates, corporations, would do actual case studies. They would go to focus groups. They would ask people, what do you think about this, that? Does the fender look right? Do you like the tires, the wheels? But apparently, marketing somehow gets involved in this, and it all just kind of gets blown out of the water.
Yeah, marketing goes to design. Design, they draft it up, and there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure in the case of the MX3 exactly what they were thinking, but obviously it didn't work. But there have been several others over the years, different manufacturers, and I think over 47 years I saw quite a few of them.
Well, and you put in your book spectacular product failures, Edsel, VW Phaeton, the Chevy Chevette, although I did like the commercials back in the day. They all teach better business lessons than they do successes.
They do, and you can learn from some of the failures. I think the Edsel, for example, was actually not a bad car, and 60 years after the fact, it still has a loyal following, almost a cult type of following. The car was actually well designed, just had the unfortunate uh, circumstance of being introduced in the middle of one of the worst post-war recessions that ever came about. And became synonymous with failure, and because the car was actually named after Henry Ford's father, it was quickly scrapped by the Ford finance staff as a colossal $250 million hickey. So
Well,
you learn from these things.
yeah, well, I have to say that the horse collar grill didn't do it any favors.
And the son's name was Edsel as well.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
I like this particular one, and I go back to the Vacation movie. The one question that will save you thousands: can I have my keys back?
Bill
Yeah.
Hurd Chevrolet.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so, yeah, I mean, it's funny, but I wonder how many people actually have gone to the dealership and said, "I want my old car back."
Not really sure, but one of the things that will really help somebody when they are looking at going into the delership for a car deal, I think I got some video now. Can
Perfect.
you guys see me? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
you
sir.
can.
Hey, you look
Okay,
taller
good.
in the screen.
Well, thank you. But if customers would simply do some homework before they go into a dealership, it would vastly improve their entire buying and ownership experience. Unfortunately, since this is one of the largest purchasing items that a customer will ever do, aside from his house, they simply spend less time uh, researching the purchase of a car than they would, say, for example, a gallon of milk. It's absolutely ridiculous given how much money they're spending. And the term "can I have my keys back" is probably one of the most powerful statements you can make when you're at a dealership for two reasons. It implies a little resolution, and secondly, it will surprise the dealer or the salesperson because they just don't run into customers with that kind of resolve anymore. The stock and trade of the dealerships, quite frankly, is they want to control the transaction. And frankly, if you have a little knowledge, a little cash in hand, and some financing arranged, you, the customer, can control the transaction.
And one of your other key messages that we're looking at is why the traditional showroom is finally dying, and what's replacing it.
Actually, it's kind of an interesting dynamic here. So much of the technology we have today has enabled customers to do a lot of online shopping, and this became particularly interesting during the pandemic when you couldn't get out and couldn't get into a showroom.
Mm-hmm.
Technology enabled people to look at cars, check specifications, prices, and that kind of advocated for a smaller showroom. Now, interestingly enough, the manufacturers still advocate, even with all this technology that doesn't require a lot of showroom display, the manufacturers still advocate to the dealers very fervently expensive showrooms, opulent furnishings, larger service departments, which does make sense because the vehicle census in the United States is growing, and you never can have too much service space.
Right.
But the concepts are about to collide because in many cases the manufacturers will dictate larger showrooms, more expensive materials, and very specific tile, wall coverings,
Yep.
fascias, glass, and the a lot of dealer angst right now is tied up in just how expensive it is not only to purchase real estate for a dealership, but to actually put one of these things up. And if you're
Yeah.
talking about renovating an existing building, it gets even more egregious. 15, 20 years ago, any architect would tell you if you have a building already, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Not so in today's facility schemes
Well,
because they're so specialized.
I've seen with General Motors dealerships that I've been in, and a lot of them have been remodeled. This is just a plan, but it's across that particular car make, be it Chevrolet or the Buick. It's all redone, and the dealerships get upgraded. But the one thing you pointed out earlier was the online and technical things that people do to shop for cars. Back in the day at the old Auto Nations, the kiosk was your selling point. You would walk a person over to the kiosk and all the inventory of that dealership, plus maybe a couple others, were in that kiosk, and you could shop that. And that was sort of the initial internet shopping, but it was at the dealership looking at their product.
And that still plays out in some instances, but in a lot of cases, the old fashioned showroom display, kick the tires on your own,
Yep.
sit in the seat, is still very evident. It's interesting that, 120 years after the onset of the automobile industry, a lot of things really have not changed. I mean, you still go to a dealership by and large, even though the percentage of customers doing a lot of their research and purchasing and financing arrangements occurs online. There's still a great proportion of the deals that occur when somebody just walks in off the strength of an ad or a billboard and does business mano a mano with a salesperson and a sales manager.
Are there still lost leaders?
Yes, there are. At the average price of about 50,000 per car, like Don was talking about several minutes ago when he reviewed the Lexus, it's getting harder and harder and harder, to find any kind of vehicle that would be what you would call a loss leader. They're just too expensive. In 1979, the first new car I sold was actually a 77 Chrysler Newport, and I think I sold it for $5,800. The average price of a car these days is about 10 times that. That'll show you the extent to which the industry has, pardon the pun, grown, if you will.
Don't you wish you had that Chrysler Newport today? It'd be worth some money, more than it was when it was new.
It would be worth a ton. And let me tell you, the allure of programs like yours is to see these cars when you flash them up. I had a joy, just an absolute joy, when you flashed up that Biscayne and that 3/4 ton,
Yep.
Chevrolet truck. Those are the things that really light, my candle, and that of a lot of other people as well.
To that point, I've been seeing, Dinah Shore see the USA in a Chevrolet. There's a new make of that commercial. It's not Dinah Shore singing it. It's an upgraded version of "See America" in your Chevrolet, and I think it's very, very cool. It stops you and you look at the TV when you hear it. It's really cool.
Of course, that's our generation
Yeah, that's our
because
generation.
we can resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I remember those old commercials. One of the ones I remember simply because I started with Chrysler, but back in the late '60s, I think it was '67. One of the neatest commercials I remember for a series on the Belvedere, Plymouth GTX was Plymouth is out to win you over this year.
Yep.
But and they were pretty cool cars, and that was just before the onset of the Plymouth and Dodge muscle cars of the late '60s and early '70s. But to show you what happens in the industry, I mean, Plymouth is no more. There is no more Plymouth division.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, 5 years before Oldsmobile disappeared, Oldsmobile was still selling 1 million cars a year in the United States. It just shows you how much the business has changed. In the Great Recession of 2008, for example, General Motors, shed 4 or 5 different nameplates, that never to come back again.
Yeah. All
So
the good
this
ones.
business is, for all that stays the same in the business, there is a lot of change. And one of the bigger changes occurred after the 1979-82 recession, and everybody was scared out of their wits. Chrysler almost went away, but that was a sea change for the industry. Fast forward 45, 50 years, the size of the cars is much smaller. GM has gone from a 60% market share to the point where imports dominate the market right now between the Japanese, the Koreans, and to a lesser extent some of the European brands as well. But it's forever changing, and in some cases, like the sales process or the dealership experience, it pretty much remains the same.
Right. You got to have a need and you have to have a benefit.
Yeah.
The feature needs benefits. That's all comes into it. And that's just on anything, not just cars.
One of the things that we don't hear too much about, certainly not advertised, are discounts for certain makes and models. You will see it on a local dealer commercial every once in a while, but the manufacturers really don't hawk that in their ads, and it's one of those things that kind of comes and goes. I mean, the sale price, we'll give you an extra $5,000 and discount the actual price of the truck, say, for instance, by $10,000. That's a $15,000 savings that the guy that shopped and bought just a month ago didn't get. I don't think that most people realize that those deals are out there, but you have to actually look for them.
Well, not only do you have to look for them, you have to be aware of them when you walk into the store, and that's where the technology comes in. You can drill down and to see what some of the manufacturers' captive finance sources leasing deals are. And those abound, but you have to be aware of them. You have to ask for them. You have to be assertive, and you have to have some semblance of control because, let's face it, salespeople, sales managers, and dealers are they're not the most philanthropic organizations in the world. So you have to do some digging. You have to ask for them. Interestingly enough, we don't have the desperate times right now that we had back in 75 through about 79 when you had Joe Garagiola trumpeting Chryslers and Dodges and Plymouths, buy a car, get a check. There's actually a chapter in the book that talks about these incentives that Don was just talking about. And the name of the chapter is Buy a Car, let me check on that, because the multiplicity of incentives can complicate even the sales staff and the dealer.
Well, you worked for a time when Iacocca was in charge back then when you were around.
Actually, Iacocca and I started the same day. He stayed there longer and made more money. But it was 1978. Chrysler was just entering a very, very difficult period. Iacocca came in as the president of Chrysler November 2nd of 1978. And the same time, I wobbled into the Memphis zone office at Chrysler after coming off the parts counter at Liberty Chrysler Plymouth in Memphis, and made a good career of it. I joined Chrysler at the height of the loan guarantee crisis and was there a little over 4 years later when they actually paid off the loan guarantee 3 years ahead of time. It was a great deal of satisfaction having been with the company through that stint. And it was absolutely terrifying because you had 21% interest rates. I think both of you and Mr. Mars as well will remember that, as well as 13.4% inflation. At the same time, Chrysler, as well as the other domestic manufacturers, had cars that were about 30 feet long and got on average about 13 miles per gallon.
Those are the
30
days.
feet long. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Thiscarsucks.com. Randy, we're going to go there and learn where we can get your book. And we certainly want to thank you for taking the time and talking to us today about not only This Car Sucks, tales and tips from the life of wheeling and dealing. We appreciate you, sir.
Well, thank you so much. The general release date for the book is February 17th. That's this coming Tuesday.
Perfect.
And I really, really appreciate the opportunity to be on with you guys. Good luck with it. The podcast has been just a joy, and particularly to kind of see three Southeast Texas guys. Based on my experience, this has been a joy. I thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Randy.
Yep.
We appreciate you as well. Just ahead, we got Jeff's Car Culture, Muscle Car Wagons Plus. Mars has Mardi Gras driving destinations. I think you'll want to get there before you start celebrating, however. All of that and more after this break on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us. The Tailpipes and Tacos renowned cruise-in expands to Beaumont. Golden Triangle cruisers will want to experience Tailpipes and Tacos at the Loopy Tortilla, I-10 South in Beaumont near Washington Boulevard. Grab free Loopy breakfast tacos with any donation to Shirley's Kids. Enjoy a coffee or an adult beverage. Every cruise-in vehicle is automatically entered to win one of the beautiful Chili Pepper trophies for Best Hot Rod, Classic, and Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos Beaumont happens Saturday morning, March 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. If you're a car geek like we are, this is the event you'll want to attend. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be online live, and you may be interviewed about your ride. Tailpipes and Tacos Beaumont edition, Saturday, March 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Loopy Tortilla, 2050 I-10 South in Beaumont. The Katy Tailpipes and Tacos happens Easter Saturday, April 4th, 8 to 11. The free Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In is a production of Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex, Beaumont, and Katy. Tastes pretty good. Apple or Android, In Wheel Time podcast can be found everywhere, on the stream and through downloads. Whether you're on the road or at home and jonesing for a different kind of car talk show, give In Wheel Time a try. Honest new car reviews, fun.
Well, that wasn't good.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast do away with that and try that again? So if that's okay with you, we'll just continue on. Is that all right with you, Mr. Mars?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mars, he's not the only one that has problems this morning. So do I. because I wound up telling everybody that we're going to talk about Jeff's Power Wagons. No, that's not what we're going to talk about. In this section, we're going to talk about products made by famous car brands, Jeffrey.
Yes, Mike, if you're ready, let's get going. Famous car brands, most people know Ferrari, supercars, Honda for reliability, but car companies don't always stay in their lane. Over the decades, many automotive giants have ventured into surprising territories, some logical, some completely baffling. The results range from generally useful to questionably bizarre. So here we go. Check out that Ford tractor there. That looks pretty good. Ford made tractors too. The next one we have is Porsche kitchen knives. The precision engineering that goes into a 911 apparently translates into cutlery. Porsche Designs created a line of kitchen knives with the same attention to detail that they apply to their vehicles.
Hey, something for you to give Kathy on this Valentine's Day, some Porsche knives.
There
for
you
the
go.
kitchen.
She probably would want the Porsche, not the knives. These aren't cheap stamped blades. They feature Damascus steel, ergonomic handles, and the price tags rival professional chef equipment. You can slice tomatoes with the same brand you used to carve the canyon roads.
Oh, I like
I didn't write it, but
nice
that was
touch.
good.
Yeah.
That was a good one. The next one we have, Michael, is Honda Aircraft. Honda spent decades developing the Honda Jet, a small business aircraft that entered service in 2015. The project started in the 80s when most people still associated Honda exclusively with Civics and Accords. The jet features engines mounted above the wings, an unusual configuration Honda claims improves efficiency and cabin space. They moved from highway commutes to commercial flight with the same methodical approach they apply in everything else.
I
Look
see
at
those
that.
frequently at the airport.
Yep, those are cool airplanes.
Slick.
Michael, the next one, BMW bicycles. BMW produces high-end bicycles that carry the same badge as their cars. McLaren also makes bicycles. A McLaren bike is $13,000. Check that out. The cruise bike line includes models with minimalistic frames, integrated lighting, and design cues borrowed from their motorcycle division. Some versions cost more than used cars. The brand positioning makes sense with both products. Promise premium German engineering, professional transportation, just a bit of different things for power sources. All right, next one we got is a Peugeot pepper mill. long before Peugeot became known for hatchbacks and sedans.
Wait a minute. What are those things coming out of that deal?
Those are peppers. Those are pepper seeds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I had a little trouble figuring out what that was myself.
Oh, it's Peugeot
It
pepper.
looked like
yeah.
some sort of an infection or something.
Well, put some ointment on it. The company manufactured tool and kitchen equipment. So there you go. They've been making peppermill since 1874, and these grinders still carry the lion logo. You see it right there in that picture. The mechanism uses hardened steel that Peugeot claims lasts generations. Restaurants worldwide rely on these for seasoning. The car division came later. The pepper mills were the first. Toyota sewing machines. 1924, Sachi Toyoda with a D-A, not T-A, invented an automatic loom that revolutionized textile manufacturing. His son later founded what became Toyota Motor Corporation, but the family business started in fabric, not engines. Toyota still manufactures industrial sewing machines through Toyota Industries Corporation. The connection makes more sense when you remember the company's roots in precision manufacturing, just applied to the different materials. Mercedes-Benz surfboards. Have you heard of them? I've never have. Mercedes-Benz partnered with Garrett McNamara, a big wave surfer, to create limited edition surfboards. The boards featured carbon fiber construction, designs inspired by their AMG performance line. Only 30 were made, which signed by McNamara. The collaboration felt like an odd stretch. What do German luxury cars have to do with Hawaiian waves? Well, marketing team probably had the answer. And the last one, Mike, is Bugatti furniture. Bugatti doesn't just make the world's fastest production cars. The brand also produces carbon fiber furniture that costs more than some vehicles. They make a pool table that weighs 1,800 pounds and uses the same materials as the hypercars. You can buy chairs and a foosball table, all carrying the price tags that match exclusively. The furniture serves as a garage art for those people that already have a Veyron in their
I was just going to
garage.
say, I'll take the Veyron. Thank you.
You bet.
All right.
So they make other stuff.
Good. All right. Well, Mr. Mars, if it's okay with you, we're going to take driving destinations and we're going to move that into our next segment. So those that are listening on a podcast, they'll just go right on to the next podcast to hear your driving destinations, if that's okay with you.
It works really well for me.
Does it?
Yes, it
Well,
does.
because I know that you needed some extra time to get your act together over there.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and do it during this commercial.
Okay.
All right.
Well, all right. Well, shall we go ahead and do that now? Do you
Shall
think?
Please.
Please. Okay, we shall do that. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this hopefully quick break. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches millions of folks around the globe each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, YouTube, Facebook, and don't forget our podcasts. Catch our live show every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guests, new car reviews, along with popular features, including driving destinations, Jeff's car culture, the latest car news, cruise-ins, and racing days. It's all on InWheelTime.com. Join us. That's it for this podcast episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.